page 26, Blood on the River. We anchored at Dominico, a very fair island inhabited by many savage Indians. They are continually in wars and will eat their enemies when they kill them, or any stranger if they take them. That was by Master George Percy in his journal observations. Every sound wakes me. I crane my neck. Is this the night someone will murder Captain Smith? But each time it is only one of the men groaning in his sleep, or the retching of one of the poor souls who has not yet gotten over their seasickness. And so Captain Smith is still alive. We anchor at one of the Canary Islands, Gran Canaria. I steal a chance to go on deck and have my first sight of land in many weeks. Huge gray mountains, steep and rocky, rise up into the clouds. A few of the sailors go ashore in the longhouses to fill our in the long boats to fill our barrels with fresh water, and then we are on our way, riding the trade winds west toward the West Indies in the Caribbean. Captain Smith is still in chains, though they have freed his wrists and only his ankles remain shackled. When I bring him his morning wash water, he is writing. I glance at the page, and then I quickly turn away. I don't want to be caught being nosy. He washes his face, takes off his shirt, and washes under his arms. I hand him a cloth to dry with. When he is dressed again, he looks at me hard. Middle of page 27. Reverend Hunt says, "You can read," he says. It is a cross between a question and a statement. I nod my answer. Everyone nod your answer. Very good. He tells me your mother taught you, but your mother was a commoner, a peasant, correct? Yes, sir. Well, can you tell me how it is that you learned to read? She was taught by a friend, sir. It was the son of our gentleman landlord. I don't tell him that he also gave her the silver locket when she turned 13, or how, when their friendship was discovered, he was sent away to France. I see, he says, and he goes back to his writing. I wonder how Captain Smith can be so peaceful while he is locked up like this. Since the moment when he nearly punched Master Wingfield, the moment when he reined in his anger, Captain Smith has been so calm. That first day he had to bring me his paper. The first day he had me bring him his paper, quill and ink. When Julius Caesar was put in prison, he wrote, he said, "So I shall do the same." So he's copying who, boys and girls?
Julius Caesar.
And what is it that Julius Caesar did that he admired? He wrote. Right. He has been writing ever since, the story of our journey. And as he writes, he remains calm, and the whisperings have changed. Now they say that Master Wingfield and some of the other gentlemen made up those charges. They say those gentlemen hate Captain Smith because he's a commoner who has no special respect for nobles. They say you can't hang a man just because he doesn't respect you. In a strange way, even though he is still a prisoner, Captain Smith seems to be winning the battle. James and Richard come down the ladder, talking the whole way. Richard is carrying an oatmeal pot for our mess, and James is a slop bucket he just emptied. Captain Smith doesn't need me anymore, so I hurry toward the steaming pot of oatmeal. I have to eat fast to get enough. We servants are always served last when the food is running out, and Master Wingfield's servants, Henry and Abram, are big and greedy men who empty our mess pot in 2 gulps if we boys don't get a head start. I grab my spoon and dig in. Yes, that's what he said, Richard is saying. They don't wear any clothes at all, and they just paint themselves different colors instead. The sailor said he heard it from a French sailor who had already been to the New World. What else? James asks. That the women make cuts and burns on their faces and bodies to make pictures of them. Then they put colored dyes in the cuts and burns, and they think it makes them look beautiful. What does it remind you of? What women do today?
Tattoos.
Maybe tattoos, yeah. But what about makeup? We paint our skin, don't we? Right, yeah. I snicker and I nearly spit out my oatmeal. Richard gives me an annoyed glance. He said that the men have a hair a yard long on one side of the head and the other side is shaved close. And they decorate the hair. One of their favorite decorations is they cut off the hand of one of the enemies and they dry it in the sun and then tie the dried hand into their hair. Henry and Abram join us. Henry is a broad and fleshy and always enjoys the opportunity to smack one of us boys. Abram has hair the color of carrots and one eye that wanders everywhere except where he is looking. When they sit down to eat, James and Richard are silent for a while as they shovel oatmeal into their mouths. There is a plate with 5 chunks of moldy cheese in it. I go to grab the largest chunk, but Henry slaps my hand and takes it for himself. I want to slap him back, but he is 3 times my size and could easily throw me against the wall with one swipe of his arm. I grab a smaller piece of cheese and stuff it in my mouth, green mold and all. They also said there will be Carib Indians on the islands in the West Indies, Richard continues. They said the Caribs chop people up in the cook pots and eat them. Now James looks pale and terrified. Henry snorts. Oh, very bad. They don't want you. You're too skinny and snotty for their taste. He slaps James on the back hard enough to hurt, and then he and Abram go off to their card game with the other common men. Charlie.